jumped. With disbelieving eyes, I read it through. Tuesday, 3 September, 1816. My dearest Cassandra, thank you for your letter, which was truly welcome. I'm much obliged to you for writing so soon after your arrival, and for sharing the particulars of your lodgings, which, I suspect, provided far more entertainment for the reader than for the writer. Although your bedroom sounds comfortable enough, I am sorry you had no fire, and am appalled that Mrs. Potter thinks to charge 3 guineas a week for such a place. Cheltenham is clearly to be preferred in May. Your pelisse is no doubt very happy it made the journey, for it will be much worn. I hope Mary gains more benefit from the waters than I did. Do let me know how she gets on. We are well here. The illness which I suffered at the time of your going has very kindly taken its leave, without so much as a goodbye, and I'm happy to say that my back has given me very little pain the past few days. I am nursing myself into as beautiful a state as I can, so as to better enjoy Edward's visit. He is a great pleasure to me. He is writing a novel. We've all heard it, and it is very good and clever. I believe it could be a first-rate work, if only he can bring himself to finish it. Listening to Edward's composition has put me in something of a melancholy state, and given rise to feelings I'd thought long got over, and of which I may give vent only to you. I promise to indulge for no more than 5 minutes. It brings to mind that early manuscript of my own, which went missing at Greenbriar in Devonshire. Even at a distance of 14 years, I cannot help but think of it with a pang of fondness, sorrow, and regret, as one would a lost child. Do you recall my theory as to how it came to be lost? I still maintain that it was all vanity, nonsense, and wounded pride. I should never have read it out to you that night during our stay, but kept it safe with all the others, although we did have a good laugh. What banner years for me! 2 proposals! It is tragic that I had only the 1 copy. And yet, perhaps it was simply fate, and it was never meant to be seen. You did persuade me to tell no one about it while I was writing it, and you were right. It might indeed have troubled that most valued member of our family. Every time I thought of trying to write it out again, something happened to prevent it. All our travels, so difficult, you will recall, to work at Sydney Place, and then Papa died, and it was quite impossible. To recall it now from memory would prove to be a task beyond my power. I have been inspired, however. Yesterday I sat down and poked fun at my poor, lost creation with a piece of foolishness I call Plan of a Novel. It is in part what I remember of that story, embellished with hints from Fanny and others who've been kind enough to suggest what I ought to write next. I hope it will make you laugh. Which reminds me, tonight we are to drink tea with... It ended there, a fragment, unfinished and unsigned. Hands trembling, I read the letter a 2nd time, and a 3rd. There was only one person who could have written that letter. One person, and she happened to be one of the most famous and beloved authors of all time, Jane Austen. That she was my personal favorite author, that I had studied her life and work in detail, and that she had inspired the topic of my never-completed dissertation, only added to my astonishment and excitement. If this was authentic, and I felt in my bones that it was, then I had come upon something extremely rare and valuable. Jane's sister, Cassandra, shortly before her death, had burned most of her correspondence with Jane, or expunged those parts she preferred to keep private, before giving them as mementos to her nieces and nephews. Some 161 letters survived and had been published, and I was certain this was not among them. This was something new. I fired up my laptop to verify my theory and logged on to the net. In no time, I found a website that posted all of Jane Austen's preserved letters. I was thrilled to confirm that the images of her handwriting did indeed match that in the letter I'd found. I jumped to the letters from 1816, near the end of Jane's life. There was a portion of a letter dated 4 September, 1816, written to Cassandra when she was in Cheltenham, but the first 2 pages were missing, as well as the top of page 3. Cassandra had deliberately disposed of those parts. My pulse quickened. The fragment